How you guys doing? Eric here. Today's Saturday, March 18th, 2017. A little bit breezy up here in Gilpin County today, but really nice weather we're having. It's supposed to be up into the 60s today. So yeah, springtime has officially arrived. Well, it arrives next week, but so yeah, last week I was doing some research. I stumbled across a video by Mark Passio. It's about the origins of the human race, and he's going into the Anunnaki and the planet Nibiru, which, you know, I've heard the story before, but I never really gave it much creed. You know, I thought it was just fucking a fantasy. Oh, here comes them doggies. Here comes them doggies. Whoa. Oh, hold on. Doggies everywhere. Doggies everywhere. Happy doggies. Springtime. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Good, good. Beautiful weather, huh?
Yeah, at least it's no wind back.
Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, it goes into this story, right? Of the, you know, I used to think it was just a fantasy, but I don't know, man. Now, I think it might be true. But a lot of people, you know, I've been thinking about this all week, and a lot of people, I can't talk to anybody I know about it because they would just roll their eyes at me and act like, and you just think I'm insane. But no, here's how the story goes. I'm gonna try to shrink it down into a short version of it. But the story goes that these Anunnaki, which are like almost like human beings, and they're far superior to human beings, and they come from the planet Nibiru, and they're just like humans, but they're giants. They're huge, and they're way smarter than us. They use 100% of their brain, where we only use 10% of ours, and I'll explain that later. But yeah, and they came down to Earth because their technological society had destroyed their atmosphere, and somehow they needed gold. Somehow the process of gold would maybe they would spray it into their atmosphere, kind of like they're doing now here on Earth with like aluminum. They're spraying it with chemtrails. Maybe they turn the gold into powder and spray it into their atmosphere. But so they needed a lot of gold to save their atmosphere. And I think the Earth's going to face the same fate one day because of our technology. But so they ran out of gold on their planet, and so they located the Earth, and they knew there was gold here, and they were capable of space travel and all that. So they came to Earth and started mining gold. You know, these beings, these Anunnaki, are they're like us, but they live for like tens or hundreds of thousands of years. But they are mortal. They're not gods or nothing. But so after a while, they were here mining our gold, and they said, you know, this is just too much work for us. You know, so they decided that they were going to make some slaves to mine the gold for them. So they took some humans, not humans, but there was no humans on Earth at the time, and so they took like a Neanderthal type hominid, primitive, like. Well, more ape than human, you know. So it was, but they walked on 2 feet, and so they decided to take them. And since they were so advanced, they were able to genetically modify to make slaves out of the hominids. So they started doing experiments for a long time, maybe thousands and thousands of years. It took them to come up with a suitable, you know, being that wasn't too smart, wasn't too dumb, was smart enough to do the work that they needed, but not smart enough to think for themselves. And so they modified, and you know, and they took the beings and they spliced genes, and they took out chromosomes. So that's probably why the human has 23 chromosomes and the chimp has 26. See where I'm getting at here? They modified us. They created a whole new being with their splicing their genetics with the hominids, and then it parallels the Bible, this story, where they created the first human they made. They called him Ademu, and it was in a place called Eden, which kind of parallels with the Garden of Eden, and it parallels the Bible in a lot of ways. There was like the Exodus or whatever, when they were forced out of the Garden of Eden. That was when they totally developed the hominid that they were going to use. They basically created the first human, but it wasn't as good as they thought, man. It didn't go quite the way they wanted, and the human was still had a mind of its own, more than they really wanted, but still it made a good slave, because most of them would just do what they were told, and they still do to this day. So yeah, it's a fascinating story. And so they took them out of the Garden of Eden, and they took them to their minds and forced them to start working. But a lot of the humans were, they tried to rebel, and a lot of them escaped, I think. And once they started really, really populating and breeding, and the humans escaped, and some of them, became the indigenous people throughout the world. That's how the Indians got. I think they took some humans down to South America to mine the gold down there, and some of them escaped and created like the Indian populations of the Americas, and all the other, like some of them escaped from Africa, Asia. Maybe there was different breeds of Anunnaki, and they made the different races of Earth. There's all kinds of theories, but I used to think it was a crazy story, but I look at the human today and how fucked up we are, right? And the reason why is because we're genetically engineered species. We're not a natural species on this earth, and it's really changed my whole fucking view of myself, the world, the human race. It's really been world changing for me, man, to just to grasp this concept and to realize that we've been told lies our whole life, and then that's why they created religion, money, all that shit, to hide this facts from us. And they've been keeping it hidden from the human race for probably the timeline was like 400,000 years ago when this happened, somewhere around there. So yeah, fascinating story, man, and I'm really starting to believe it might be true, man, because the way I see the human race, man, we're a fucked up, not right, man. And now I'm starting to understand why, because our whole genetics is not natural to this planet. So anyways, that's my fucking weird story for this week. I'm going to continue on with this though in the future, and because I think I'm onto something here. So yeah, man, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.